trying to do too many things at any given time, it's very easy to get caught up in doing things half-heartedly, to rush through things, or get caught up in decision paralysis where you are unsure what you should be doing at any given time because you have so many interests that you want to partake in. Recently I've suffered from this because I've been wanting to make YouTube videos. It's been a few weeks now. I've been trying to write a book. I've been trying to quickly get through my reading list. I've been working on a course to just better myself in my career. I've been trying to learn languages. I recently took up Muay Thai. I say recently, over last 2-3 months. So I've been trying to do that as well. On top of running and going gym and trying to fit in peripheral exercises and that sort of stuff as well. So it's quite difficult to manage all this, especially when you only have so much free time in a day. Considering you're working for 8 hours, you're sleeping for 8 hours, that's 16 hours. You need to eat, you need to socialize, you need to just do general maintenance stuff, right? And it got to the point where I was speeding up all my leisure time to get back to try and do this sort of stuff. And by that I mean, in my leisure time, if I'm watching something or if I'm listening to an audiobook, I was putting Netflix on 1.25 times speed, sometimes even 1.5 times speed. I was listening to audiobooks on 1.6, 1.7, 2 times speed. I was even YouTube videos, 1.5 times speed, 1.75 times speed. And it got to the point where I was trying to just consume everything as quickly as possible, just so I can get back to doing stuff like this that I actually wanted to do. And I kind of realized, why am I rushing my leisure time? Why am I rushing my downtime? It's a very weird concept, and I had a conversation a few weeks ago with a friend of mine. He's also been on the podcast. He was actually on episode 1. But we were talking about me giving up my phone and just the prospect of being able to do more with my free time. And in that discussion of being able to do more with my free time, it came up that I was actually rushing through a lot of the things in my free time. And it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to be more intentional with your time if you're just hurrying through activity after activity, trying to do more and more and more. And yeah, I think it became a real problem because I was now consuming all this content at a very unnatural pace, to the point where I couldn't fully engage in it. I wasn't fully focused, and it became a bit of a haze, to be honest. Just thinking back to it now. And I think that partly comes down to because the fact that there's so much that I want to do. And I know there's enough time to do it all, but for some reason I want to do it all now. And I think it's good to take a step back sometimes. And interestingly enough, when I was going through these thoughts a couple weeks ago, I didn't realize, but an author who I'm a big fan of is called Cal Newport. He's written books on digital minimalism, and he's also written books on deep work. And there was a third book that he wrote that was also quite good, but I forget the name. But hopefully it'll come to me. But the point is, I'm a big fan of his work, and I'm a big fan of the stuff that he's put out before. And I didn't know he had released this book. The book is called Slow Productivity. And another YouTuber who I follow I've been following for quite some time, is called Ali Abdal, and he does a lot of videos on productivity and just naturally trying to better yourself in whatever facet it is that you choose, right? To try and do it more effectively and more efficiently and that sort of stuff. And he also did a video on Cal Newport's new book. And so, full disclosure, I've not read the book, but I know the book focuses on 3 core principles, and that's to do fewer things, to focus on quality, and to work at a natural pace, I believe it is. Now, if I'm being honest, I have always focused on quality when I've wanted to do things. I've been wanting to do them well. But I think the other 2 elements of that is where I've fallen short, especially recently, where I have been doing quite a few things, and I've most definitely not been going through them at a natural pace. I've been trying to get through them as quickly as possible. And I think that is where a lot of my shortcomings have come from, because I guess I'm not fully engaged in a lot of the things I've been reading recently, just because I've been trying to get through them as quickly as possible. I have faltered from uploading videos as often as I wanted to. It's been almost 3-4 weeks now since the previous one. And in terms of fitness goals, like I've even on that front, I've just been, I don't want to say tired all the time, but I'm trying to always like work out my schedule of focusing gym with running and focusing. I'm trying to schedule in, did I say schedule or focus? Anyway, trying to schedule in running, Muay Thai and gym as effectively as possible so I can do all of them, and as well as make time for other parts of my life, like socializing and just chilling and relaxing and cooking for myself and all that sort of stuff. And it became quite difficult, and that's why a lot of these points that he's mentioned resonate with me, especially the two that I hadn't been focusing on, the doing fewer things and the working at a natural pace. And in one of the interviews that Cal Newport did when he discussed his book, a point that he raised that was quite interesting to me was that when you are working on a single task or action, people often think progress is linear. And I know I certainly do, because me trying to do 5, 6, 7 different things and allocating a little bit of energy into all of them, I assume that little bit of energy will help me make linear progress in all of them. But in actual fact, that's not what was happening. In fact, I was making very little progress in all of them. And it wasn't really a good regime to be working under. And what Cal Newport argued for in this conversation that he had regarding his book is that a lot of the time that progress isn't linear, it's actually exponential. Things compound very quickly. And eventually you do get diminishing returns when you have done something for 10,000 hours, say, and you're like a master and such. At that point, you do get very little progress for the effort that you put in. But to get to that stage is a very long way away. But he argued that in the initial stages of when you're doing something and you're either a beginner or intermediate at doing this thing, you're going to make a lot of progress very quickly, especially if you focus on it consistently and put a good amount of time and energy into it frequently enough. And I found that quite interesting, especially because I was hoping to make linear progress in so many different ways all at once, and I was falling short of it. And because of that, I've actually decided to, I guess, reduce the amount of things that I've been doing recently. So from doing 6 main activities, I've sort of reevaluated them, and I'm going to do 2 main activities, and maybe I'll make them float around here somewhere. I'll do 2 main activities and 2 peripheral activities. So the 2 main things I want to focus on primarily are 1, learning a language, and 2, making YouTube videos. I want those to be my day-to-day in my free time. If I want to dedicate time into making progress in other aspects of my life, I want it to be one of those 2 things. And my 2 peripheral activities will be writing the book that I want to write and reading. And these are more casual. Like when I feel like it, I might do a little bit here, I might do a little bit there. If I can schedule in like 10 minutes of writing the book every single day, that'll be cool. But if I don't, I'm not gonna get too strung up on it. And I think that's a better outlook to have, because previously I was trying to schedule in all these things every day, all day, and it was just so demotivating. Like I just didn't want to do any of them. So, and I think that partly has, I think reworking it in my mind and looking at it from this point of view with the 2 main things and 2 peripheral things, I'm more motivated to do these 2 things now that I've set out to do, the 2 main things. And I think it should be quite fun. I think it'll be quite interesting. And as part of that, I want to commit to uploading at least 1 video every week on YouTube, 1 video every Monday at the bare minimum. If I can get 2 out, that's great. If I can get 3, even better. But at least 1 video every Monday is what I'm going to commit to. And that's the sort of goal I've set for myself. And when it comes to learning languages, I want to do at least 1 hour every other day. And I think that is manageable. Because I think when I was in school and I was trying to learn Spanish, I think we had 2 lessons a week, 3 lessons a week, something like that. And my Spanish got quite good over those last few years of learning it in secondary school, sorry. well, depending on where you're from. Yeah, my Spanish got pretty good. So I think if I did it every other day for at least an hour or two, I think I could make progress in whatever language it is that I want to learn. And yeah, and that's kind of like I guess how I've shifted my focus now. And I'm quite excited. I'm quite looking forward to it. It should be quite good. And yeah, hopefully, well, we're actually recording this like the end of the week. So Monday's only a few days away. So I will be uploading this one, and the plan is to upload another one on Monday as well, and then every subsequent Monday going forward. So yeah, quite excited. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.